Could she really be here, waiting for me?
Where'd you move here from? Dumbsville?
Yo, I hit the jeweler, got some goals. I sold a little weed, but I could never sell my soul. And when I'm in LA, you find me out in Lil Soap. Come up, go with my ramen, I'ma need another bowl. Let's go.
We had so much fun looking around for Greaster eggs.
Man, I'm gonna break my monitor, I swear!
I am at my mental health wit's end. These movies are blending together for me now. If I can rant for a little bit, this shit is getting confusing. Because even though this video is Little Cars Part 3, we're not watching Little Cars 3. Because we already reviewed Little Cars 3. Now we're on fucking Little Cars 5 and 6. And Little Cars 2 and onwards are all made up of multiple short films. So I feel like I'm on Little Cars 18. I feel like I've been watching both more of these and less of these than I actually have. It is an indescribable feeling. The nightmare legitimately does not end. Wow, we have the most uncreative title yet, Big Fucking Adventures. Our first short is the Easter card. We open with Tony and the gang, with Combo and the girl card talking about how they love this time of year. Tony's then all like, what kind of year? All while not moving his teeth at all. And it turns out the time of year is, and I hope you're sitting down for this, believe it or not, it's not Easter, even though the title of this short is the Easter card. In actuality, it's a holiday called Greaster.
You know, Greaster is the holiday celebrating the invention of grease.
Just think about that. Fucking Greaster.
We had so much fun looking around for Greaster eggs.
I'm gonna fucking off myself. But turns out Tony's an atheist that doesn't believe in Santa. And he has some press conference thing or something. So the press conference happens, I guess. So this guy with a big mustache comes out. And naturally, it's the same fucking mustache model for every car with a mustache. But I guess whatever makes your fucking shitty Blender file cheaper. But then Tony's all like, huh, God, I hate God. I'm an atheist.
It's almost like being the new Greaster car.
Come on, Simone, the Greaster car's for kids. You know there's no such thing as the Greaster car.
This gets the mustache guy mad at him, and now he's canceled on Twitter or something. So now Tony has to save his reputation, I guess.
You have until Greaster Sunday to think of something.
Greaster Sunday. This movie was written? That means this universe has fucking car Jesus in it. So we got car religion and fucking cancel culture in this. This movie is wild.
The Greaster car is much more than that. It represents the hope and joy we celebrate Greaster Sunday.
Once again, this movie was written so Combo and the girl car get an idea. And that idea is to turn Tony into the Easter Bunny. I don't give a shit what it's actually called. So Tony goes around murdering innocent civilians. But then, uh-oh, his fucking white phosphorus cannon got launched into the ocean. And for some reason, the animation is way better in this scene. Who gives a shit why, honestly? Then Tony...
It's no game. I'm who you think I am. I'm the famous Greaster car.
I don't know what's going on. Donnie Darko did it first. So the Greaster Bunny tells Tony to believe in him and become a Christian. Wow, what a wholesome moral. Tony then wakes up and meets up with Combo and the girl car. And it turns out all the Greaster eggs were delivered. And there was no river, meaning the Easter Bunny was real. And that's the whole short, I guess. I'm going to fucking sleep. Next short, Bigfoot. Tony does this, I guess. And Mike Pollock comes in, I guess. And he's all like, man, there's a really bad mountain I gotta deliver to. Which very coincidentally, all the other characters are vacationing there. So now they all go to the mountain, I guess. And they're all like, wow, I love the realistic flat textures. Tony's then all like, oh, watch out for Bigfoot. Also, this scene has a Herbie reference for some reason. And in Little Cars fashion, all the characters are in denial about it. Golly, I wonder where this plot is going. Later that night, the Mike Pollock car looks out the window and gets jump scared. And he's like, oh, I got jump scared! Which means that Bigfoot is real?
Hey, you guys need to give me some attention. I'm really frightened.
Shut up, bitch! Oh my God!
So Tony and Combo get to investigate it, and they see this thing and cut off each other's lines.
So after he turned on the light, he thought he'd seen something he didn't, but he
must be
hadn't.
They then return to bed, but uh-oh, it's Bigfoot. Cut to the skiing scene, where literally, nothing fucking happens. They then return to the cabin, but Mike Pollock is missing. But then,
Combo, come here.
Holy Saint Corvette! My gosh, is that what I think it is?
It's Bigfoot, isn't it?
I'm gonna be honest, this is shot so confusingly, I don't know what's happening. And it turns out they meet up with Bigfoot now, who looks really fucking dorky.
I found him halfway down the other side of this mountain.
Why does he move like a CDI character? But it turns out Bigfoot is just actually a really nice guy who spends his time cleaning roads and shit. So it's almost the same plot as the fucking Little Cars Ghost episode. You know what, Little Cars? You're right. I hate originality too. Bigfoot then comes to the other car location. I don't give a fuck what it's called anymore. And now he's part of the Little Cars cast and crew. And that's the whole fucking short film. Okay? Run, Chris, run. Yeah, I also want to run from this hellscape we call Earth. So the female car car is preparing for an interview or something, and she's nervous about it, and that's about it. But then, I'm Joe Biden. So now the interview happens, but then it's revealed that the interview is actually an invitation for an all-females race, to which the female car didn't consent until the interview happened, nor did she even know about it.
This interview was just to record and make official your invitation to race.
My invitation to race? What are you talking about?
Which is just incredibly shitty. But the other female cars, who are just recolors of other male characters, begin to make fun of her, making her join the race because, convoluted bullshit. So it's the same plot as that Little Cars 2 short, where Combo joins the race, only it's Amy Rose car this time. So this is the fucking second time they reused a plot in these damn things?
One time is funny, 2 times it's fucking annoying, no?
So Chris is really nervous and shit, but thankfully the plot is really predictable, so you already know how it's gonna end. Some more fucking shit happens, so who cares, honestly? But it turns out the girl car is the fastest car of all time, actually, which makes the other female cars really jealous. So that night they sabotage her fuel supply, which is the exact same plot as Little Cars 1, so they've officially reused plots 3 times, 2 of them in the same fucking short film. But then later, for no reason, Combo drinks the gas, and he starts dying, and Tony's all like, oh, female car, you shouldn't be in this race. But Combo has an idea, and that's to disguise her with a bandana. Which, I mean, first of all, the disguise is shit. Secondly, why would they let a random bitch in this race? At the last minute, no less. But thirdly, why? Why would she need to disguise herself? She's not the one who sabotaged anyone. There's literally no reason for it. We then get to the greatest animation known to man. And yeah, she wins the race. The goth car then announces that it was the female car who won the whole time. And the police cars arrest the other characters because, yeah. And, that's the end. And in turn, that's the end of the whole goddamn thing. So instead of 4 short films, we have 3 this time. I mean, yeah, less work for me. 2 of them are just recycled plots. 1 of them is just an Easter special, or in this case, Greaser special. All of them super predictable and by the numbers. In other words, yeah, it's certainly Little Cars 5. Next short, Formula 1. Okay, well, they have an announcer now, I guess. So Rhodopolis is holding a Formula 1 race, I guess. And Tony and Combo are very excited. But it turns out the Mike Pollock car lost some equipment for the race, which is when the Formula 1 character comes in with a goddamn puppet mouth and theorizes that someone is trying to sabotage him. So now an investigation is underway. So all the characters go to the docks to investigate. So a bunch of talking happens, who gives a shit? It turns out somebody's in the box, but the characters don't hear the noise. Meanwhile, the F1 racers are like, oh no, what's gonna happen to us? And that's about it. They then go back to the docks and open up the box with the noise in it. And it turns out this guy's in the box. And someone's behind all this tomfoolery. So they tell all this to the F1 racer guy, whose voice actor, by the way, sounds really bored.
All the other cars are good friends of mine. I simply can't imagine one of them doing this.
You sound really heartbroken about that, man. But then turns out the culprit is actually Wrangler, who, by the way, the main characters now call Victor. So for the other characters, their names changed in the second movie, but not for Wrangler, who stayed Wrangler until Little Cars 6. Anyway, so the race begins, and the one cars are like, I don't know if I can do this. Meanwhile, the investigation is still on. They then somehow find Victor's warehouse, or Wrangler's warehouse, and they find the F1 guy's equipment and also a secret plan.
He was planning a few modifications to turn himself into a Formula 1 racer.
Now you would think there'd be some epic conclusion, but not even joking, that's kind of where it ends. They bring all the car parts back, and the F1 racer guy wins the race. So they set up Wrangler and then immediately wasted him, and then just end the short. You just can't do that! Next short, the sending off. I want to send myself off. Oh look, another racing scene opening. Haven't seen this a billion times. So the champion wins the race, and Tony's all like, wow, champ, amazing. But the champions are like, I don't have that much left in me, kid. Then approach this nerd emoji character who's all like, wow, champ, I'm your biggest fan. The champ's then all like, oh, well, Tony might be better than me, honestly. But nerd emoji's all like,
you're the only champion around here. You still got a chance to win this thing, and I know you can do it.
Overall, he's just not very interested in Tony. That is until later that day, when he shits on Tony for wanting to be better than the champ. In other words, if he were a gamer, he'd be on PlayStation.
You think that winning a few races here and there makes you a champ like him? You're a joke.
And on that note, The Last of Us Part 2 was really good.
Tony then goes home and feels really bad, and that's about it. Later that day, the champ holds a meeting and announces that he's retiring. This, of course, makes the nerd emoji car very angry at Tony. But then in the very next scene, Tony gets a fan of his own. Or is it the nerd emoji car from earlier?
What do you mean, Tony?
I'm your biggest fan. I just started your official fan club and everything.
I mean, I don't know, but it just fucking ends there, I guess. Next short, flying tires. Tony and his girlfriend are out on a date, but then the goth van comes in and is all like, hey, I'm looking for UFOs. Yeah, okay, fuck it. There's aliens now, I guess.
Several cars in Rhodopolis swear they saw tire tracks in the sky last night.
Yeah, okay, sure. Fucking Alpha and Omega can do fucking dinosaurs. Sure. So Tony and the girl car look into the sky or whatever, but then they hear a noise and see this little kid.
Hi there.
Is that Tails?
What are you talking about? I saw them with my own headlights. I'm waiting for the mothership to come back to this spot.
I mean... So we get the worst skybox ever as the kid explains how UFOs work. The goth van then arrives and they all go to the top of the mountain and see crop circles. And the kid starts telling more stories about space aliens. Everyone then goes home because, fuck it. Gotta end the fucking plot somehow, man. But then turns out the little kid was an alien the whole time. But it turns out he's trying to find out what the crop circles mean too. But it turns out it was Combo doing them the whole time because he was hyped up on gasoline, and that's the end. Next short, Friends on Farm.
Friends on the farm.
Oh, sorry, Friends on the Farm. So the main characters are dicking around or something.
It's so green up here. Look at all the trees.
Yeah, it's almost like the color of trees is green. They then meet up with Combo's grandparents, who are apparently really good at farming fucking nothing. And Tony and Combo are going to a mine or something. So the two of them play Minecraft in a cave looking for diamonds. And it turns out they find gold and coal. They then go back to Combo's grandparents, who reveal that the coal is actually magic coal that apparently extends your life and gives you more energy or something. I don't fucking know. I don't know what's happening anymore. I'm just on autopilot at this point. They then grab some magic coal and bring it back to Combo's grandparents. And Tony's all like, a lot of cars could use this stuff. And the grandpa's all like,
we can make magical energy drinks from that old moonshine still my uncle used to have.
Okay, sure. If you want to, go right ahead.
Well, the important thing is that everyone now knows that magic coal isn't merely a myth.
Oh, is that the moral?
Let's go.
Well, it just ends right there, so I guess it is. And that's Little Car 6. It's just the same fucking thing over and over and over again. It's pointless story after pointless story after pointless story after pointless story. Multiply that by 10,000 and you have this goddamn franchise. The stories are bad, the animation is worse. I hate everything, I want to die. I don't know how I can keep this up for 2 more fucking movies. Still better than Alpha and Omega though.
Fuck you in the lanes you came with. Me and you ain't on the same shit. You ain't in my lane, bitch, nah. Throw that shit in fifth, rollie on my wrist. Ay, baby, you a star, I'm my only wish. I'm counting blue hundreds, I'm too money. Ay, and my little bitch, she too lovely. Yeah, hanging up and calling me right back. Ay, baby, why you calling me like that? Yeah, getting high with the seat, lay back. Baby, gon' relax, yeah. Hey, they don't know the half, yeah. No matter what happened, I got your back. Baby, that's the facts, yeah. That's the facts, yeah. We can fight, but the feeling's gone. I try to find the words, but they never come. I can still see you on the lawn. Hey, laying outside in the summer sun. Yeah, we can fight, but the feeling's gone. I try to find the words, but they never come. I can still see you on the lawn. Hey, laying outside in the summer sun. Hey, I'm with a dark-skinned girl on a Sunday. That's that Black Sabbath. She put them ones all down on a Hyundai, and she had to have it. And she gone through ready for the runway. Shawty, you the baddest. Ay, baby, that's the facts, yeah. That's the facts, yeah.
This is just a regular little gummy bear, and I've decided to destroy it. To do this, I just have to get a vial, and I'll add a small amount of something called potassium chlorate. After that, I just have to heat it up until it all melts into a nice goop. At this point, it should be pretty good, and I can carefully drop in the poor little gummy bear. Almost immediately, the potassium chlorate started ripping it apart and oxidizing it to water and CO2 gas. Within just several seconds, though, the reaction's already done, and my little gummy bear no longer exists.